At first, it might not be comfortable, it might not be convenient, I might not be good at it. It might not be the flair for it. Like right now, I might not have the flair for speaking to maybe want to keep you hooked onto this, like onto the end of this video. But one thing most people neglect is that nobody just suddenly became a master. There was a place of learning, there was a place of growth, there was a place of practice, there was a place of training, there's a place of apprenticeship, right? When we get to learn, when we get to hone our skills, we get to make ourselves better. And you cannot get better if you don't practice, if you don't stay consistent, if you don't train, if you don't hone that skills, if you don't learn. And so most times we just want to move from this point of being like a very terrible speaker or someone who is not good at a particular thing and just suddenly, all of a sudden, just move to becoming a master. But you see that movement here, this linear line, this line is a place of growth, process, practice, and apprenticeship. So nobody just suddenly became a master. Behind every master you see are years of discipline, consistency, practice, training, and failure. Yeah, because failure is not the absence of an ability or a skill. Failure is the awareness of an untrained skill or ability. Because when you fail in a particular thing, it helps you discover that there's something missing, there's an ingredient, there's something that you're not doing rightly. Not that you do not have the ability for it. So if you should stutter and keep on speaking and you keep on stuttering or your English isn't aligned or one thing or the other, and then you feel because of that, then you're a failure. No, you're getting it all wrong. That's failure on that end is not that you don't have the ability or you don't possess the ability to speak eloquently or to engage people in a conversation. The failure in that aspect is the awareness, letting you understand that you've not honed your ability to speak properly, you've not honed your ability to speak eloquently and to engage people in a conversation. So it's not trying to tell you that you don't have the ability to speak to people or to carry them along. No, no, no. Failure in that regard is an awareness trying to tell you that, hey, you need to work on this. You need to work on your speaking skills. You need to work on how eloquent you speak. You need to work on how you engage people, how you tell stories, and how you bring your words or your points to life. So the point of what I'm trying to say is that nobody became a master overnight. There was a place of process, there was a place of growth, there was a place of practice. And so you also need to learn, you also need to put in the work, you also need to understand that it also takes time. No seed suddenly becomes a tree. I've said this over and over again. No seed suddenly becomes a tree. There's the place of growth, and growth will start first under the ground, underneath the hidden growth, the one nobody sees, the aspect of the roots reaching out for water in the soil. Nobody sees that part of growth. But you must believe that the moment you lay that seed, the root is already finding water under the ground, right? And then from there, it begins to sprout, which is the visible growth that everybody begins to see. Don't wait for when you get perfect. You will never get perfect all of a sudden. You will never be a master all of a sudden. That's just the honest truth. So you must learn to learn. You must learn to learn. That's what I did there. So you must learn to learn. You must learn to practice. You must learn to grow. You must learn to learn from your mistakes. You must learn to improve in yourself. And there are people ahead of you. Be inspired by them. Don't compare yourself to them. Be inspired and be challenged. Read about their whys or the hows. That's the reason behind the things they are doing, not just the results. Don't get yourself entangled with their results. No, find out their work ethics, their life, how they do things, how they see life, how they think. That will help you position yourself to be a better student of life and to learn and to move and inevitably become a master. I hope this makes sense to you, and I hope to see you next time in my next video.